I stood in front of the mirror, adjusting my tie for the third time. It wasn't a wedding, just Oliver's family's annual summer party. But he had told me to dress sharp because important guests were coming. I knew Oliver well enough to understand what that meant. Drinks, laughter, and him parading around like the host of the century. When I pulled up to his family's house, music spilled into the night air. Their garden was strewn with lights, tables filled with food, people in suits and dresses swaying to a live band. Oliver spotted me instantly, waving his glass in the air. "Marcus, you made it," he shouted, pushing through the crowd until he gripped my shoulder. "I told everyone you'd come looking like a CEO." "You said sharp." "I listened," I said, laughing. He handed me a drink without asking. "Good, because you're not allowed to be boring tonight." I clinked my glass against his, scanning the crowd. It felt like any other of Oliver's parties until I saw her. "Isabel," I froze, glass halfway to my lips. She wasn't the girl I remembered tagging along behind us years ago, hiding behind her hair and oversized sweaters. She was standing near the bar in a deep red dress that hugged her curves, her hair falling loose around her shoulders. She laughed at something someone said, but her eyes flicked toward me, holding me like a dare. Oliver followed my gaze and grinned without suspicion. "Isabel's back for the summer. She's been living in the city. Now let her rope you into her drama. She's trouble." Trouble. That was one word for it. Before I could think, she started walking toward us. Each step seemed designed to test my self-control. "Marcus," she said, her voice smooth, teasing. "I almost didn't recognize you. You finally learned how to dress." Her eyes scanned me up and down, lingering just long enough to make me shift my stance. "You've changed," I said. My voice sounded steadier than I felt. She smiled, leaning closer for a hug. It lasted a beat too long, her perfume wrapping around me like a trap. "Don't get caught staring," she whispered against my ear before pulling back, her expression innocent. Oliver laughed, completely missing the undercurrent. "See what I mean? She's already giving you a hard time. Come on, I need to introduce you to a few people." But I couldn't focus on anyone Oliver dragged me toward. I kept catching Isabel's gaze across the room, her lips curving when she noticed me looking. Later, when I stepped out to the patio for air, she appeared beside me, wine glass in hand. "You disappeared?" she said. "I needed a break from Oliver's networking circus." She leaned against the railing, her shoulder brushing mine. "You always were the quiet one. I used to watch you and Oliver laughing in the backyard when I was younger, wishing you'd notice me." The admission hit harder than I expected. "You were just a kid." Her eyes flicked to mine. "Not anymore." I should have stepped back. I didn't. The music from inside faded, leaving only the sound of my pulse. "You know Oliver would kill me if he saw us like this," I said. Then, "Don't let him see," she whispered, her smile sharp and playful. The patio door swung open, and Oliver's voice boomed. "There you are, Marcus. Isabel bothering you already?" She straightened, her smirk never fading, just catching up. "Relax, big brother." Oliver rolled his eyes and pulled me back inside, but not before Isabel's hand brushed against mine, deliberate and electric. The night blurred with toasts and laughter, but every time I looked up, Isabel was there, watching, waiting. As I finally grabbed my jacket to leave, she intercepted me by the door. No one else seemed to notice. She slipped a small folded piece of paper into my hand. Her fingers lingered against my palm. "Don't tell him," she whispered, her lips so close I felt her breath. By the time I looked down, she was already walking away, red dress moving like fire through the crowd. I unfolded the paper. A phone number. My chest tightened as Oliver called my name from across the room. I shoved the paper into my pocket before he saw. I forced a smile and waved goodbye, but my heart was racing too fast to hide. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. The number Isabel had slipped into my hand, still saved in my phone. I told myself I wouldn't use it. It was reckless, dangerous, stupid. Yet my thumb hovered over her name until the temptation won. I sent the first text. "You still awake?" The reply came instantly. "Of course, did you think I'd give you my number for decoration?" I laughed to myself, typing back, Maybe you just wanted to mess with me. Maybe I did. Did it work? My chest tightened. Should have stopped right there, but I didn't. A little. Her next message flashed across the screen. I like when you admit things. You never did that before. I frowned. Before? Back when I was the annoying little sister, you barely looked at me. I hated it. You were young, Isabel. And now, you still see me that way? I stared at the glowing screen. Every warning in my head screamed to ignore her, but my fingers betrayed me. No, I don't. The 3 dots pulsed before her. Reply appeared. Good. I'd hate to think I wore this red dress for nothing tonight. I swallowed hard, gripping my phone. Tighter. You know, Oliver would lose his mind if he saw these messages. That's why he won't. Unless you tell him. Her confidence unnerved me. I set the phone down, but it buzzed again. Don't fall asleep.
What?
Talk to me. I like this version of you. I sighed and picked it back up. What version is that? The one that doesn't hide, the one that sees me. The honesty in her words cut deeper than the teasing. I hesitated, then typed, You don't feel seen? Not by anyone who matters? Not until now? I stared at the screen for a long time. My best friend's sister was pouring her loneliness into my hands at midnight, and instead of shutting it down, I wanted more. Night after night, it became routine. Her name lighting up my phone, laughter typed in short bursts, secrets whispered. Through glowing screens, one night she asked, Do you ever regret not doing something reckless when you had the chance? I typed carefully. Sometimes why? 'Cause I'm tired of playing safe. I want something that feels real. And you think texting me at midnight is real? Don't act like you don't feel it too. I closed my eyes, her words a spark catching fire in my chest. I can't. I typed back. You're Oliver's sister. Her reply came fast. Stop hiding behind Oliver. He doesn't own me, or you. I didn't answer right away. Couldn't. But my silence didn't push her away. It only made her bolder. Next night she sent, Meet me. When? I asked tomorrow. Café Leclerc, noon. Don't make excuses. I stared at her message until my screen dimmed. Meeting her in public wasn't dangerous. That's what I told myself. Just coffee. Just talking. Repeated it like a prayer, though. My heart knew better. The next day, I walked to the cafe with my pulse hammering. My mind spun with questions I had no answers for. What if someone saw us? What if Oliver found out? What if I couldn't walk away once I looked into her eyes again? I reached the door, hand trembling on the handle. Through the glass, I spotted her instantly. She was waiting at a corner table, a red dress hugging her frame, a smile curving her lips, like she had been planning this moment all along. My chest tightened, my breath catching. She lifted her glass of iced coffee, as if in a silent toast. Then her eyes locked on mine, and I knew, stepping inside, I was already hers. Asterisk, the bell over the cafe door jingled as I stepped inside. I spotted her instantly. Isabel sat in the corner booth, back straight, lips curved like she'd been waiting, just to catch me off guard. Her red dress looked deliberately chosen, and it worked. Marcus, she called, tilting her head as though she had every right to summon me like that. I walked over, my throat tight. You picked the loudest dress in the quietest cafe. Then it worked, she said, smiling. You noticed? I slid into the seat across from her. You wanted me to notice? Of course I did. Otherwise I could have worn something boring. Do you think I want to be boring for you? My fingers tapped the table. For me? You shouldn't be thinking like that. Her laugh was low, teasing. Then why did you come? I exhaled, glancing at the menu even though I wasn't hungry. Because you wouldn't stop texting, and because you're Oliver's sister. Wrong answer. She leaned in, elbows on the table. You came because you wanted to. The server arrived asking for our order. I muttered just coffee while Isabel ordered tea she'd probably never drink. As soon as we were alone again, her eyes locked onto mine. Remember when I was 15? She asked. That's a dangerous way to start a conversation. Mean when you used to come over to study with Oliver. I'd linger on the stairs, hoping you'd notice me. I shook my head. You were a kid. Her lips parted slowly, not to me, To me, you were already impossible to ignore. Rose. In my chest? You shouldn't say things like that, but it's true, and truth makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it? I shifted in my seat, but she reached across the table, letting her fingers graze my hand. Wasn't an accident. My pulse kicked. Hard, you see, she whispered. You didn't pull away. I swallowed, because it would make a scene. Her grin widened. You're good at excuses. Does Oliver believe them too? That name snapped me back. Don't bring him into this. Why not? He's your best friend. He trusts you. If he knew you were here with me, what would he say? Push my chair back a little. He'd probably break my jaw. And yet you're still sitting here? She brushed her hair off her shoulder, exposing bare skin like it was part of her argument. I stared down at the coffee cup the server placed in front of me. You're playing a dangerous game. Games are only dangerous if you lose. I tried to laugh it off, but it came out rough. You think you're in control? She tilted her head. I know I am. I leaned closer despite myself. Then, prove it. Her eyes sparked. Careful what you ask for, Marcus. The silence between us grew heavy, thick with something neither of us wanted to name. Her leg brushed mine under the table. I froze, but I didn't move away. See? Whispered. Close enough to burn. I opened my mouth to say something sharp, but my phone vibrated on the table. Oliver's name flashed on the screen. My chest tightened. Isabel's eyes lit up. Perfect timing, I answered quickly, trying to steady my voice. Hey man, Marcus, Oliver said warmly. What are you up to? I glanced at Isabel. She leaned forward, chin resting on her hand, waiting to hear what I'd say just. Grabbing coffee, I said carefully. With who? Shh. My throat tightened. Isabel mouthed silently. Tell him. Her hand slid onto my knee under the table. Just by myself, I said, forcing calm into my tone. Isabel's nails pressed lightly against my leg, her smirk growing. You sound weird, Oliver said. Everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine. Good. Listen, we're having dinner Friday. You in? I swallowed hard. Isabel's hand didn't move. Yeah, I'll be there. Great. Isabel will be too. She's been difficult lately. Maybe you could talk some sense into you. Her eyes locked on mine as if she could hear every word. I'll try, I said quietly. Oliver chuckled. Good luck. See you Friday. The call ended. I set the phone down slowly. Isabel's hand lingered on my knee, deliberate, taunting. You. Lead, she said softly. You wanted me to? No, she whispered, leaning across the table until her breath warmed my cheek. I wanted you to tell him the truth, to say you're with me. My jaw clenched. You're insane. Or maybe I just know you better than you know yourself. I pushed her hand away finally, though. It felt like ripping out a part of myself. This can't happen. Her eyes searched mine, fearless. Then why does it already feel like it has? I had no answer. The cafe noise faded, every sound replaced by the pounding of my own heartbeat. She leaned in so close, I could taste the sweetness of her tea on her lips. You won't walk away, she whispered. Not from this. I forced myself to stand. Tossing bills on the table, we're done here. She rose too, following me to the door. You keep saying that. Okay, you don't mean it. I paused at the exit, my hand on the door handle. Don't test me. Her smile curved, slow and dangerous. I already am. I stepped outside into the cool night, but the heat she left in me burned hotter than ever. The night air wrapped around us as we stepped out of the cafe. Isabel matched my pace, her heels striking the pavement with deliberate rhythm. I shoved my hands into my pockets, trying to create distance, but she leaned close, brushing against me with every step. You didn't tell him, she said, her voice soft enough that it felt like a secret already. I wasn't going to ruin his night, I muttered. You weren't going to ruin yours either, she teased. I shot her a look. Do you ever stop? Why should I? She asked. You're still here. If you really wanted to stop this, you would have walked away the second we left that cafe. I clenched my jaw, forcing my gaze ahead. Maybe I'm trying to protect. You, from what? From wanting me? She smiled. That's not protection. That's denial. We turned a corner, the city buzzing with late-night energy. Couples laughed, neon signs glowed, music drifted from open bars. Isabel slipped her arm against mine, casual as though it were nothing. My chest tightened. People can see us, I warned. Good, she said. Let them. I stopped walking, forcing her to face me. You don't get it. If Oliver even suspects, he already suspects. She cut in. My pulse jumped. What are you talking about? He sees the way you look at me. It's not blind. That's not true. She stepped closer, the streetlight catching the sharp glint in her eyes. You think you've been subtle? You think he doesn't? Notice when you hesitate to look me in the eye, or when you look too long when you think he isn't watching. My throat went dry. You're twisting this? No, she said quietly. I'm finally saying it out loud. You want me? Always have. Her hand slid down my arm, fingers tracing until they found mine. I should have pulled away. Instead, I froze as she laced her fingers through mine and held on. Let go, I whispered. You first, she challenged. We stood in the middle of the sidewalk, the city moving around us. But all I felt was her grip. I could hear my heartbeat, heavy and reckless. Finally, I said, you don't play fair. I'm not here to play fair, she answered. I'm here to see how far you'll let me go. Her voice was daring, but there was something else in her eyes, a flicker of vulnerability that made me hesitate. She wanted control, but she wanted to be wanted even more. I didn't let go. We kept walking, hand in hand, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Every step screamed of danger, but the silence between us was louder than the city itself. When we reached her street, the tension only grew sharper. The glow from the porch light painted her in soft gold. She looked at me, still holding my hand. Not going to forget this, she said. I shook my head. No. And I should. Do you want to come in? She asked. My chest tightened. You're daring me again. I'm giving you a choice. Her front door loomed only a few feet away. I couldn't move. My mind screamed to leave, but my body stayed rooted. Then the door swung open. Oliver stood there, holding a half-empty beer bottle, his expression unreadable. Marcus, he said, surprise laced with suspicion. My stomach dropped. I yanked my hand back, but Isabel didn't flinch. She stepped forward, her voice smooth. We just got back from the cafe. I asked him to walk me home. Don't look so serious. Oliver's eyes flicked between us, searching. At this hour, it's safer than walking alone, she said quickly. Relax. He stared at her, then at me. His jaw tightened before he forced a grin. Fair enough. Come inside, man. You want a drink? I shook my head, trying to steady my voice. I should get going. Early morning. Isabel leaned against the doorframe, her smirk subtle enough that Oliver wouldn't notice. But I did. Oliver clapped my shoulder. Tomorrow, then. We should talk. My chest tightened. About what? His eyes narrowed slightly, like he was testing me. About Isabel. There's something you should know. The words sank heavy into my stomach. Isabel's gaze burned into me, silent, daring me not to react. I forced a nod. Sure. Tomorrow. Oliver stepped back, satisfied enough for now. Turned away, the weight of his stare following me down the street. Isabel's smirk lingered. In my mind, tangled with the warning in Oliver's voice. The lines we shouldn't cross were already behind us. And I knew it. Asterisk Oliver called me the next afternoon. His voice carried a weight I wasn't prepared for. Marcus, we need to talk. Come over, I went, even though my chest tightened with dread. We sat in his kitchen, the blinds half closed, sunlight slanting across the table. He set down his beer and looked me straight in the eye. I'm telling you this because I trust you, he said. Isabel has a history. You don't know the half of it. I stayed quiet, my stomach already twisting. She jumps into things, Oliver continued. Reckless choices. Men who thought they could handle her, but they always ended up burned. Some jealous, some obsessed, some just broken. I've had to pick up the pieces more times than I can count. I shifted in my seat. Why are you telling me this? Because you're close to her now? Closer than most? And if you ever see trouble, if she starts pulling you into something dangerous, promise me you'll step in. Keep her safe. Don't let her self-destruct. I forced a nod. You think I could do that better than you? You're not afraid of her? He said firmly. Makes a difference. His words dug into me. Not afraid of her. If only he knew. When I left his place, my head felt heavy. I walked home with guilt pressing down, the weight of secrets I hadn't confessed. By the time I unlocked my door, all I wanted was silence. But silence didn't wait for me. Isabel was sitting on my couch. My pulse jumped. What are you doing? Here, she pulled her knees up, wearing a loose sweater that slid down one shoulder. Your door wasn't locked. That's not an excuse. I needed someone to talk to, she said softly. And you didn't answer my calls. Closed. The door leaning against it. Can't just show up at my place uninvited. Then tell me to leave, she challenged. I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. She smirked faintly. That's what I thought. I crossed the room, standing over her. Why me? Out of everyone you could run to, why me? Her eyes locked. On mine? Because you're not afraid of me? Everyone else either tries to control me or worships me. You don't do either. That's why I can breathe around you. Her words cut deeper than I wanted them to. I sank into the chair across from her, trying to steady my voice. Oliver says you have a history. She tilted her head. What did he tell you? That you've hurt people? You've left a trail of chaos? Laughs slipped from her lips, sharp and bitter. Of course he told you that. So it's true? Her gaze hardened. You think I'm dangerous? I don't know what to think, I admitted. She leaned forward, the sweater slipping lower. Her shoulder bare, her collarbone catching. The dim light. Then listen to me. Oliver doesn't want you to know the full story. He wants to keep me in a box, wrapped up in his version of who I am. He's protective to the point of control. Protective or honest? I asked. Her eyes softened, vulnerable for the first time. Do you believe him, or do you believe me? I swallowed hard. You're asking me to choose. I'm asking you to see me, she whispered. Her hand reached across the coffee table, fingers brushing mine. My breath hitched. The sweater slipped further, and I forced myself not to look. But I felt the pull. Isabel, I warned. She leaned closer, her voice barely audible. Say my name like you mean it. Pulled my hand back, standing abruptly. You can't do this to me. Not here. She rose too, stepping into my space, her eyes locked on mine. I'm not doing anything to you. I'm just being honest. You're the one fighting it. Her breath touched my lips. My chest ached with restraint. Stop, I whispered. Tell me you don't want this, she murmured. I stayed silent, my pulse betraying me. Her lips hovered inches from mine, her whisper sharp as a knife. Do you believe him more? Do you believe me? Her lips brushed mine before I even realized I had stopped resisting. Heat surged through me, sharp and consuming. My mind screamed to stop, but my body betrayed me. I kissed her back. Her hand slid against my neck, pulling me closer, deepening. What should never have started. For a few stolen seconds, nothing else existed. Not Oliver. Not the warnings. Just Isabel, pressing against me like the world belonged to us. When I tore away, my breath came hard and uneven. What did we just do? Her smile was slow, dangerous. What you've wanted to do since the moment you saw me? You don't know what you're talking about. She tilted her head, sweater slipping lower again. Then why didn't you stop me? I raked my hands through my hair, pacing the room. Because it was wrong. Because he's my best friend. Because you're his sister. Her eyes glittered with something I couldn't name. None of that stopped you. That doesn't mean I'm proud of it, I shot back. She stepped toward me, her bare shoulder catching the dim light. You kissed me, Marcus. You can't go back from that. My chest tightened. You think this is a game, don't you? Her lips curved into a smirk. Maybe. Or maybe I just know you better than you admit. I forced myself to look away, to steady my breathing. This ends here, She laughed, soft and taunting. Say that again when you're not shaking. The worst part was that she was right. I was shaking, not from fear, but from wanting her again. I pointed at the door. Go home, Isabel. Her gaze locked onto mine.
Oh.
If I walk out now, you'll never forget this. You'll think about me every time you see Oliver, every time you close your eyes. I couldn't speak. Wasn't wrong, and that terrified me. Finally, she slipped past me, brushing her hand along my arm as she moved toward the door. She paused, leaning close to whisper, "You're mine now, whether you admit it or not." The door closed behind her, leaving the room heavy with her presence. My phone buzzed. Oliver's name lit the screen. My stomach dropped as I answered. "Marcus, I need to ask you something," he said, his voice edged with suspicion. "What is it? Has Isabel been acting strange around you?" I swallowed hard. "Strange how?" "Different. Secretive, like she's hiding something." I stared. At the door she had just walked out of, my heart pounding. "Why do you ask?" "Because I know her. She disappears when she's up to something, and lately she's been disappearing a lot." I forced a laugh, hoping it didn't sound as hollow as it felt. "She seems the same to me." "Tell me if something was going on, right?" My throat tightened. "Of course." Oliver sighed. "Good. I just don't want her to drag you into anything. She has a way of pulling people where they shouldn't be." The words cut like a blade. I almost told him the truth. Almost. Instead, I muttered, "I'll keep an eye on her." "Thanks, man. I knew I could count on you." When the call ended, I sank onto the couch, burying my face in my hands. Guilt roared through me. I had lied to him. Lied straight to his face, while the taste of Isabel still lingered on my lips. I tried to convince myself it was a mistake, that it would never happen again. But the memory replayed in my mind, each detail sharper than the last. The way she looked at me like she had one. The way I gave in without a fight. The night stretched long, filled with restless pacing and unanswered questions. I thought about Oliver's warning, about Isabel's smirk, about the impossible choice pulling me in two directions. Just when I convinced myself to forget, my phone lit up again. A message from Isabel. "If you don't come tonight, I'll tell him everything." My heart slammed against my ribs. The words glowed on the screen, impossible to ignore. I read them once, twice, 3 times, and I knew. Whatever control I thought I had was gone. Asterisk, the city lights blurred as I stood outside her door, staring at the message she had sent me. I should have ignored it. I should have stayed home, but my hand lifted anyway, knocking before I could stop. Myself, the door opened. Isabel stood there, hair loose, sweater hanging off one shoulder, like she had designed it that way. "You came," she said softly. "What choice did I have?" I muttered. Her eyes searched mine. "You always have a choice." I stepped inside, closing the door behind me. "Then why do I feel like I don't?" She walked to the window, arms crossed. "Because you don't see me?" "Not really?" I frowned. "What are you talking about? You only see Oliver's sister? His responsibility? His warning?" She turned, her voice sharper. "Do you ever see me as my own person?" My chest tightened. "Isabel, that's not fair. It's true." She took a step closer. "Every time you look at me, I see it in your eyes. Guilt, restraint, like you're holding yourself back because of him." "I am holding back," I admitted, "because I have to." Her lips trembled between anger and something softer. "I'll never be anything but his sister to you." I reached for her arm. "It's not what I said." "Then say what?" "You mean?" Her eyes locked onto mine, unrelenting. "I'll say, you want me? Say I'm not just Oliver's sister?" My throat felt dry. "Isabel, this is dangerous." She leaned closer, her breath warm against my cheek. "Then stop pretending you don't want it." Before I could answer, she kissed me. Hard, fierce, like she was proving something. My resolve cracked again, and I kissed her back, my hands, finding her waist. But then my phone buzzed in my pocket. I froze. Her lips lingered against mine until she noticed the vibration. Slowly she pulled back, eyes narrowing. "Who is it?" she whispered. I pulled the phone out. Oliver's name glowed on the screen. My heart nearly stopped. Her smirk vanished. Of course it's him. I can't answer, I muttered. Before I could act, she snatched the phone from my hand. With one fluid motion, she swiped and pressed it to her ear. Hey, Oliver, she said sweetly, her tone light, playful. My stomach dropped. She paced the room, pretending like nothing was wrong. Yeah, Marcus is here. We were just talking. Eyes flicked to mine, daring me to stop her. I mouthed, What are you doing? She ignored me. Tomorrow? Sure, I'll tell him. He'll be there. Her smile was painted on, but her eyes told a different story. Sadness flickered beneath the surface, raw and unguarded. When she finally ended the call, she tossed the phone. Back to me. He wants to see you tomorrow. Urgent, apparently. I caught my breath. Why did you do that? Because you were going to lie. Again, you can't just play games with him like this. Her voice broke, the first crack. In her armor? Do you think this is a game to me? You think I don't know how much he means to you? How much you mean to him? I tried to steady my tone. Then why push this? Why force me to choose? Because I'm tired of being invisible. Her eyes glistened. I'm tired of living in his shadow.
I wanted someone to see me.
To want me. Not because of him. But in spite of him, the words hit me like a punch. For the first time, I saw the vulnerability beneath her fire. I reached for her hand. Isabel, you're not invisible, not to me. Her breath caught, and for a second I thought she would cry. Instead, she smiled, bitter and fragile. Then prove it. Don't walk away this time. My pulse raced. Every instinct told me to. Leave before I ruined everything. But my body stayed rooted in place, torn in two directions. Finally, I whispered, I can't give you what you want. Not like this. Her hand slipped from mine, and her expression hardened again. Hey, then you'll lose me. Just like he always warned you. I swallowed hard. This doesn't have to be betrayal. We can stop. She shook her head slowly. There's no stopping. Not anymore. Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. I finally stepped toward the door, my chest aching with the weight of it. All her voice stopped me cold. Tomorrow, everything changes. I turned, meeting her gaze one last time. Her smirk had returned, but I could see the sadness still buried in her eyes, and I knew she meant it. The knock came earlier than I expected. I opened the door and froze. Oliver stood there, jaw tight, eyes burning. We need to talk, he said. My throat went dry. About what? Don't play dumb. Someone told me you've been meeting Isabel. Secretly at night? The ground shifted beneath me. That's not true. His fists clenched at his sides. So if I asked her right now, she'd deny it. I forced a steady voice. Yes. As if on cue, Isabel appeared at the end of the hall, walking toward us like she had rehearsed the timing. She gave me a quick glance, her eyes daring me to break. Oliver turned to her. Tell me the truth, Isabel. Are you seeing him behind my back? She tilted her head, feigning confusion. What are you talking about? He stepped closer, anger radiating from him. Don't act innocent, someone told me. I want to hear it from you. She looked at me for a beat, then back at him. Why would you believe strangers over me? Do you want me miserable forever? What? Oliver blinked. You've never wanted me happy, she said sharply. Every time I let someone close, you chase them away. You did it when we were younger, and you're doing it now. Oliver shook his head. That's not what this is. Then what is it? She shot back. Why are you so desperate to control me? Is it because you can't stand the thought of me wanting someone more than your approval? His voice cracked. It's not fair. Fair? She laughed bitterly. You've never cared about fair. You've only cared about loyalty. Yours, your rules, your version of love. I stepped in, trying to calm them. Stop, both of you. This isn't going anywhere. Oliver's eyes narrowed at me. Why are you defending her so hard, Marcus? My stomach turned. Because I don't want you tearing each other apart. He stared at me like he could see straight through me, or because you know she's right. Isabel folded her arms, watching us with a faint smile, but her eyes glistened. Go on, Marcus. Tell him. Tell him you're tired of being treated like his shadow too. Oliver's voice broke. Is that what this is? I lose my sister and my best friend in the same breath? Oliver, listen, I said quickly. Nothing happened the way you think. He cut me off. Oh. Then why can't you look me in the eye? Silence hung between us. I felt cornered, guilty even without a confession. Isabel stepped forward. Because you never trusted him. You never trusted me. You want us caged. Both of us. Oliver's face twisted with pain. You're twisting this? No, she said firmly. You are. You've always been jealous, afraid of losing control. Enough. His voice thundered through the hall. I loved you, both of you, and this is how you repay me? My chest burned. That's not betrayal, Oliver. Then what is it? He demanded. I searched for an answer, but found none. His shoulders sank. Defeat spilling out of him. I thought I knew you. He looked at me, then at her. Turns out I never did. He turned and walked away, his footsteps echoing down the hall like a verdict. The silence afterward was suffocating. Isabel finally spoke, her voice soft, almost tender. You'll get over it. I rounded on her. What did you just do? Blinked innocently, I told the truth. That wasn't the truth. That was you tearing him apart. Her lips curved into a small smile. Ow. Sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes it destroys. I stepped back, shaking my head. You planned this, did I? She moved closer, her eyes locking on mine. Or did I just stop hiding? Anger and desire tangled inside me, impossible to separate. You don't play fair. She leaned in, her whisper brushing against my skin. You knew that from the start. The air between us crackled, equal parts fire and ruin. If I'd just lost my best friend forever, given myself entirely to his sister,